Your start is very important. How you start can predict your end. It will not totally determine, but it can predict your end. If you fail, you will try again. Please don't try only next year. The moment you fail, start again. It is very difficult to start lethargic and end up strong. It's hard. It's possible, but it's hard. The counsel is that if you would start well, you would have to invite God into the scene. God must never be absent in your start. If God is absent in your beginning is not beginning enough. It is a poor start. People like light so bad that people just want to be relevant. What has all your New Year resolution done to you? It has done something. That a child that is trying to walk keeps falling will tell the child, sit down for life. That you tried to stand and you couldn't stand, is it the reason why we should tell you to sit down for life? So why is it that because somebody tried and failed, your counsel is that they should just fail? Make your resolutions. It's wisdom to do so. If you fail, you will try again. Please don't try only next year. The moment you fail, start again. Your start is very important. How you start can predict your end. It will not totally determine, but it can predict your end. It is very difficult to start lethargic and end up strong. It's hard. It's possible, but it's hard. And that's why we must learn to start strong. The common denominator of every great start is called God. In the beginning, God created. In the beginning was the Word was with God. The counsel is that if you would start well, you would have to invite God into the scene. God must never be absent in your start. The Bible says it is only the fool that says in his heart, there is no God. A fool says in his heart, there is no God. And the company you acknowledge when you start can predict your destination. The company you acknowledge and accept can predict your destination. If we go to the park, the boss you are standing beside can give us an idea of where you're going to. If God is absent in your beginning is not beginning enough. It is a poor start. In the beginning, God. The implication of that is that you want to take God more serious when you start the year. You want to take the things of God very seriously as you commence the year. If your resolutions are without a service target, then you're not well resolved. Every time you find a good beginning that leads to a creative end, God is a factor. Creation happened because there was God. The beginning was beginning enough, and the word of God was potent because there was God. The marriage could not fail because God was invited. You would need to give God his place, because that's the root of direction. God. That's the root of preservation. God. Number 2 is planning. And in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Every other thing he made entered those two spaces. So he framed something, and everything that happened was captured within the scope of heaven and earth. That's a plan. So when the fishes come, they are not looking for where to stay. They have earth. When the trees come, they are not looking for where to stand. They have earth. When the birds of the air come, they are not looking for where to enter. They have the layers of the heavens. God created, he forged and fabricated the future of his creation. So I'm going to create something that everything will subsist from it. Great starts are possible when the big picture is on ground. And that's what great people do in the beginning. No man intending to build a tower that doesn't sit down to first count the cost. Planning. What's the guiding plan for January? What's the guiding plan for February? What's the guiding plan for March? To have only a 1-year plan is short-sightedness. Real visionaries have plans that span between 5, 10, 20 years, 30 years. An accurate plan is a very important ingredient of great beginnings. What is your mind doing? Before your prayer prays, before your mouth prays, let your mind play. This is the arrangement of a man that is going to have an amazing year. He has a plan. It's your responsibility to plan this year. Look at the other one. There is nothing inside this year aside the things you planned for. As long as the plan is concerned, it belongs to the man. But the answer of the tongue is God's portion. God is the answerer of the prayer, but the plan always precedes the prayer. Note, the plan is the compass for the year.